Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to go over several leaks that I've managed to gather, and honestly, they're pretty interesting to talk about. As usual, all of this information comes from sources that are considered fairly credible within the community. But before we get into the main discussion, running out of Stellar Jade in Honkai Star Rail? Don't worry, there's a more budget-friendly solution. Now you can top up in-game safely, quickly, and at a lower price through U7 Buy. And it's not just Honkai Star Rail, other games are available too, all in one place. Still not sure? No problem. You can check U7 Buy's reviews directly on Trustpilot, so it's transparent and trustworthy. For comparison, 80 oniric shards cost around $100 in the official store, but on U7 Buy, it's much cheaper. The process is also instant. Just select your server, enter your UID, and the balance is delivered straight to your account, no hassle. Don't forget to use code BOOM for a 5% discount. Click the link in my description or pinned comment to visit U7 Buy. Alright, let's jump straight into the topic. So yesterday, Honkai Star Rail version 4.2 anniversary was finally released. How did your gacha pulls go? Were you one of the lucky players who managed to get silverwolf 999 early in soft pity? Or did you end up facing the painful reality of losing the 50-50? For today's discussion, we're going to focus on two major topics that are both important and worth taking a closer look at. The first topic is about the current situation of Fate Collaboration Part 2, which, as of now, is still surrounded by a lot of uncertainty. And the second topic is about the latest information regarding upcoming characters like Blade SP, Aventurin SP, and Himiko SP, although most of the discussion will be centered around updates on Blade SP. Of course, all of the information we're going to talk about comes from sources that are considered fairly credible. Alright, starting with the first topic, Fate Collaboration Part 2. As many of you probably already know, there was some information that spread quite widely within the community. This came from Full Stop Chan via HXG. According to that leak, Fate Collaboration Part 2 was expected to release in version 4.3, and it would introduce two playable characters, Rin and Gilgamesh. Naturally, this quickly became a hot topic among players. However, there are also several other sources that have come out with statements that directly contradict that information. And this is where things start to get a bit questionable, even for me personally. Because if we think about it, we've already entered version 4.2. There hasn't been any official teaser or even the slightest hint regarding Fate Collaboration Part 2. Usually, when a major piece of content like a collaboration is about to release, we would at least start seeing some early signs or promotional buildup. One of the sources that contradicts the earlier claim is Anon Leaks via Galaxy Leaks. In their post, Anon clearly stated that the information claiming Fate Collaboration Part 2 will release in version 4.3 is simply not true, it's fake. Unfortunately, Anon didn't provide any further details about when the collaboration would actually happen, only that the 4.3 claim itself is incorrect. This brings up an interesting question. When Anon says the information is fake, what exactly do they mean? Is it specifically the release timing that's wrong, meaning version 4.3 is incorrect? Or does it mean that the entire concept of Fate Collaboration Part 2 is false from the very beginning? I'm honestly curious what you guys think about this. When you see Anon's statement, which interpretation makes more sense to you? Now, aside from Anon, there's also another source that offers a different perspective compared to Full Stop Chan, and that's Rain Grace Leaks. This source is quite interesting because they previously managed to accurately predict the version 4.2 rerun banners, even before larger sources like Sakura Haven shared that information. Not only that, Rain Grace was also proven correct when they mentioned that the 4.3 beta wouldn't start last Tuesday. In their post, Rain Grace stated that Fate Collaboration Part 2 most likely does exist, but the release timing isn't in version 4.3. Instead, it's expected to be pushed back to version 4.4. So based on that, it's possible that this collaboration will be released alongside Himiko SP, potentially as part of the second major main push after Silverwolf 999. If we try to analyze this logically, this scenario actually feels more reasonable compared to a 4.3 release. So for now, we can say that the status of Fate Collaboration Part 2 is still in a gray area. Once again, there's no way to know for sure which information is actually correct. But it's probably best to prepare for the worst-case scenario, that the collaboration might not exist at all. So try not to set your expectations too high for now, just to avoid unnecessary disappointment. Alright, now let's move on to the second topic, the latest information about future characters. This information once again comes from the same source, Anon Leaks. This time, Anon responded to earlier information that had been shared by Uncle B via Galaxy Leaks. At that time, Uncle B discussed early kit concepts for several characters, including Blade SP, Aventurin SP, Himiko SP, and Nilex. We've actually covered that information in more detail in a previous video, so if you're interested in a deeper breakdown, feel free to check that out. In Anon's response, they mentioned that Uncle B's information does share some similarities with Blade SP's concept, but the details are not entirely accurate. Meanwhile, for the other characters, Aventurin SP, Nilex, and Himiko SP, Anon firmly stated that those leaks cannot be trusted. So essentially, everything aside from Blade SP is considered fake. Now here's the interesting part. Galaxy Leaks then provided additional details about the Blade SP that are quite specific, and the source is anonymous. According to the post, Blade SP is expected to take on a primary role as a support character. He can provide utility to the entire team through a zone mechanic that reduces enemy attributes or stats. With this kind of ability, Blade SP would be able to support a wide range of DPS characters, including Ashvale. On top of that, Blade SP is also said to have AoE follow-up attacks, with damage that scales based on a percentage of his max HP. This suggests that he's not just a pure support, but also has sub-DPS potential built into his kit. What makes this even more interesting is that this information lines up very closely with what was previously shared by Uncle Latte on Bilibili. In their discussion, Uncle Latte mentioned 5 key points about Blade SP: having a zone mechanic, being able to transform, having sub-DPS capability, HP-based scaling, and a mechanic that increases damage the lower his HP gets. Additionally, Luna also mentioned earlier that the first 4 points from Uncle Latte's information are worth paying attention to. On top of that, statement about Blade SP being able to support a wide variety of DPS characters, including Ashvale, also aligns with Luna's perspective. Based on a post shared by HSR Italia, Luna explained that Ashvale's debuffs are fairly generic, and AoE attacks are extremely beneficial for him because they guarantee a 100% chance to trigger his mark. So in simple terms, because Blade SP has AoE follow-up attacks, this creates strong synergy with Ashvale. Since the attack hits all enemies, it makes it much easier for Ashvale to consistently proc his mark, effectively maximizing his potential. Looking at everything we've discussed, there are at least 3 different sources that provide information that supports each other regarding Blade SP. This definitely increases the credibility of these leaks, at least for the time being. Alright, and with that, we've reached the end of today's discussion. Thank you so much for your time and for watching all the way until the end. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share your opinions, analysis, or even your own speculations in the comments. Your discussions always make these topics more interesting and valuable for the community. And don't forget to share this video with your friends who also play Honkai Star Rail, so they don't miss out on the latest updates. Your support through likes and subscriptions really means a lot for the growth of this channel going forward. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next discussion.